If you're also planning to study in Australia, then you will hear these words time and again. Offer letter, COE, OSHC, subclass 500 and so on. But most students don't really understand what this actually means. They just go with the flow, and this confusion later costs them their money, time, and they might also cost them their visa. So today, I, Prisma Gautam from Prime Consultancy and Services, will be sharing you some important words that you will be hearing time and again during your university application as well as visa application process when you're applying for Australia. Before we start this video, I want you to save this video and share this with your friends so that you and they never feel alone or never feel lost in your entire student visa journey. The first word that you will be hearing time and again is offer letter. An offer letter is a formal document from a college or university that says that they have accepted you into a course. It means your academic documents, English proficiency scores and profile have matched their requirements. Once you receive it, you can either accept it or reject it. For example, if you apply to University of Sunshine Coast from Prime Consultancy and Services, then you will receive offer letter, which means that you have met their eligibility criteria. Moving on to the second very important word that you will be hearing in your Australia student visa journey, that is COE, which stands for Confirmation of Enrollment. A confirmation of enrollment is an official document issued by the university after you pay the required fees. It proves that you are officially enrolled in a course in Australia. And of course, without a COE, you will not be able to lodge your visa, because in your COE, there will be a special number which will link your application profile to your visa profile. For example, after you pay your tuition fee, then the university will send you a COE so that you can lodge your visa application. Now, third word that you will hear is prerequisites. Can you repeat after me? Prerequisites. Prerequisites are things that you must have done before joining a specific course. These could be previous subject, English test scores, or certain skills. If you don't meet them, the university may not accept you or may offer you a pathway program. For example, if you want to study nursing in Australia, then you might be required IELTS band 7, maybe a CEE exam clearance from Nepal. You might also be required to have your previous study background of biology or science. So these criteria are called prerequisites. The fourth word you will be hearing is intake. Intakes are specific months when a university starts new classes. Students can only join a course during these official intake periods. Different countries and universities have different intakes. In the case of Australia, it has 3 intakes. One is February intake, the another is July intake, and sometimes some universities also offer mid intakes between August and September. They are also called term 1, term 2 and term 3 respectively. Moving on to the fifth word that you will hear time and again is subclass 500 visa. Subclass 500 is the official name given for Australia's student visa category. Every international student must apply under this visa to study in Australia. This visa allows you to study, work limited hours and stay for the duration of your course. If you're a Nepali student planning to study in Australia, then you will be required to file your visa or lodge your visa for subclass 500. Now, sixth word that you will not hear most often, but if you consult with a consultant, then they might tell you that they are lodging your visa from EMI account. Now let's understand what is EMI account. EMI account is the online portal used to apply for Australian visas, all kinds of visas and not just student visas. You upload your documents, fill out all the forms and pay your visa fee from this account. You can also check the status of your visa anytime by using your EMI account. Let's understand with an example. Students use their EMI account or their agent's EMI account to lodge their visa for student visa subclass 500. Number 7, OSHC. Again, OSHC, you can simply understand it as insurance, but it stands for Overseas Student Health Coverage. OSHC is a compulsory health insurance for students who are going to Australia. It helps cover medical, hospital and emergency expenses while you live there. You must purchase OSHC before your visa can be approved. And not to forget, this health coverage is very important and mandatory for all the students applying to Australia. In case you go to Australia and get sick tomorrow, then it might help you reduce your hospital bills. Number 8, biometrics. Biometrics include your fingerprints and a digital photo taken for security check. This is a standard part of visa processing for many countries including Australia. Without biometrics, your visa process cannot continue. Let's understand with an example. When a student lodges their visa, pays their visa fee from an EMI account, then they will be required to book a date for biometrics. And to give that biometrics, students are required to visit VFS office in Kathmandu, or you can also check the nearest VFS location around you while booking your biometrics. And biometrics is also the last thing you will need to do before your visa decision arrives. Number 9, let's talk about visa conditions. Visa conditions are the rules set by Australian government that every student must follow. These include attending classes regularly, maintaining OSHC, and working only within permitted hours. Breaking these conditions may lead to your visa cancellation. For example, when you're applying to Australia in student visa subclass 500, then you will have to maintain your full attendance, be enrolled full-time, and you can only work for limited hours, that is 48 hours per fortnight at the time I'm recording this video, and that is called your visa conditions, which you must meet at all times when staying in Australia. Number 10, sponsor declaration, which we also call affidavit. A sponsor declaration or an affidavit is a legal document where your sponsor promises to fund your studies and living expenses. It includes their relationship to you, income sources, and responsibility for your educational costs. This document supports your financial evidence for the visa. For you to understand this better, I will also attach an image of a sample affidavit right here. For example, your father will be writing an affidavit for your student visa application, confirming that he is ready to fund all your educational and living costs. And that's it for today's video. These were 10 very important words that showed you a clear roadmap about your student visa application and the words that you will be hearing frequently. I hope I made it very clear for you. If you only understand this, then you are ahead of so many applicants who are applying to Australia with so much confusion. But having said that, knowing these words is the first step. Very good that you have taken the first step. But if you want to go ahead until the last step and want to get genuine expert guidance, then that's where Prime Consultancy and Services comes in. If you want study abroad consultation, then you can visit our office here in Kathmandu, or you can also schedule a virtual counseling session by contacting us in this number. And last but not the least, thank you so much for clicking into this video and watching this video till the very end. I hope this video helped you with the right information. Now I want you to like this video and comment down your queries if you have any, and share the video with your friends who are planning to study in Australia and are planning to take that first step. Thank you so much once again.